However, I also have a thing, the Hammering Horns feat as well, or character trait, or whatever, where I can use a bonus action after I hit a creature with a melee attack as part of the attack action. I would rule that that's probably not that doesn't really make sense. And I'm just reading this off the sheet, so I have to investigate the actual raw there. But
this organ is wicked.
Flavor-wise, I thought that probably it would make more sense to allow me to take the bonus action, but if it has to be part of the attack action, then that's technically not an attack action. I guess how would you rule that?
Yeah, I mean, as written, I would agree. If it's not listed as an attack, then like an attack action,
Then it doesn't go forward. Okay.
Correct.
I'm gonna go read that.
But if you can find evidence elsewhere that allows it, permits it, I'm totally up for that.
I apologize, I missed what you were saying.
Oh, it's all good. I'll do a little bit of sleuthing here.
Evening, Keen.
Sorry, it's bedtime. The girls did not want to do bedtime stories. Great. But it's okay, because we're here now.
Well,
Just waiting on John.
Yeah, just waiting on it. The camera's not on, but the stream is on, guys. Just warning.
Oh, you know what? They both use bonus actions anyway, so it doesn't matter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Solved itself.
Well, let's hope John is soon.
New campaign, new notebook. So excited.
I have a Google sheet that's called Dijkstra's Journal. I'm just going to keep that.
How are you pronouncing your name?
Dijkstra.
Dijkstra. Okay. I had it as Dijkstra, but Dijkstra works too.
First thing I'm going to do when I get a feat is get Keen Mind. So that way the DM has to remember everything for me.
Yeah, that doesn't. It flies with some DMs.
Yeah, I was supposed to say good luck. I can't remember what I ate for lunch today.
It was worth a try.
It works with some DMs that have it like recorded and shit.
I'll give him a minute more and then we'll start on some of this housekeeping. I don't want to waste too much time going through housekeeping stuff, so we'll give him a second more and then we'll see.
Gazille, Hammermaker, so he's on roll 20.
Oh, wait, I should do that one too. Silly me.
Man, the overlay, I must say, that's a pretty cool overlay. That's not all my work. Some of that was grabbed from like assets on the internet.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, no, having everyone's character made like that's pretty cool. And then that was the coolest Strahd I could find, Trevor. So.
Oh, it's all good. You don't have to worry about finding anything. He'll find you.
Well played.
So ominous.
And well played. All right, camera's on.
I think I see John.
I hear John.
Therefore, John exists.
Oh, Oh, my cameras are all on the silly roll 20.
Well, yeah, new campaign kind of thing. Yeah.
New campaign. Yes.
All right. So if you guys are good to go, I'm gonna jump right in and just do a bit of quick housekeeping, and then we're gonna dive in as quick as we can here. Anyone need anything, questions, anything before we start? Okay, seeing none. Quick housekeeping. I'm not going to do this every session, but just because this is our first, kind of lay out some of those housekeeping things. So the sessions will run every Tuesday, 7 to 10, starting tonight, and I'll do my best to hold that schedule. The exceptions for me really are limited to very limited vacation time. I try to book around this, and also major holidays. So if it ends up our session falls on Christmas Day or something like that, we'll decide as a group if you guys are all doing other things or whatever. Yeah, obviously we won't go that night.
Wait, you just said Christmas D&D is a possibility with you as a TM?
I mean, come on, are we not committed? just screw with you. I heard someone talk about a notebook. Strongly recommend it for this campaign. If you're not a note taker, you might want to look at making some notes. Yeah, perfect, because you will need that. Pretty much I always go with 4 people, so if I've got 4 or more, we will be a go. If we're less than 4, I might look to do something with the 3 that remain. I might pull somebody in from another group, but we won't be doing Strahd that night, so less than 4 is a no-go. Anything above 4 will automatically be a go.
Roll a d20 to see.
Yeah, when we're in session, just ask, please be in session. Be present. Well, this group, I've never seen problems with crosstalk. I don't think that'll be a problem, but I'll just mention it. There'll be 1 break during the night. It'll vary depending on play. So I try to put the break in at some point where it makes sense. Couple Curse of Strahd things. This is an unforgiving masterpiece. It will test you as a player and as a party. My last DM advice before we get real here is take care of each other. That's all I'm going to give you. The content can be very dark. I think you all know that. I'm not thinking that's an issue for this group, but if at any point you feel like I've hit the dark button that, it doesn't sit well with you or whatnot, I'm happy to discuss it offline and we can see what we can do to make that work for everybody. Just to let you know in advance. Same thing with other player issues. If there's anything that's going on, please try to work it out one-on-one. If that fails, bring it to me. I'll see what I can do to help resolve it. Again, this campaign will test you as a player and as a party, so kind of expect you're going to be challenged that way. Character death is possible. Just to give you an example, the previous 2 times I've played this, people have died both parties, so this shit's real. Generally speaking, I play rules as written. I may ask for DM advice from time to time. As always, though, you can certainly try to do anything. Be creative. I don't generally permit flanking or any kinds of those sort of specialty rules unless it truly is flanking, and in those cases, I'll let you know that. Lastly, have fun. That's the intent. First person roleplay the hell out of this thing. It's a total blast. Questions, comments, concerns, anything? Mark?
When someone does die, not assuming it's going to happen, but in the case that does happen, does that player create a new character, or are they just like, you out? Or how does that go?
I will say yet to be determined depending on the situation and where we are and a bunch of other things. But I wouldn't want to give the impression this is sort of like a video game where we could just re-roll characters unlimited, so go ham. It's not that, but at the same time, I do feel there are ways to keep people engaged in the sessions, and I don't want to lose anybody. So I've got my ways.
Gotcha. You become one of the baddies.
Any other questions? Probably the only other caveat I'll leave with you guys is I'm normally an in-person DM, so this 7-screen thing I got going on here will be new for me, so bear with me a little bit as I try to acclimatize? What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Acclimatize to this environment, as I'm not used to having all of this, all these screens open.
Yeah, welcome to... Yes.
I was going to say, welcome to Jason's world, exactly. All right.
I'm down to 4 for the night.
Last call.
Great.
Anything before we go?
Let's do it.
All right. Welcome, my friends and adventurers, to Curse of Strahd. So, we start tonight's session in the ocean, outside of Waterdeep, City of Splendor. The clear night air is brisk and cold. The sounds of waves gently crash on the side of the boat. Dykstra, you wonder how you got roped into rowing. Wasn't this Uther's idea? But the sea air is more refreshing than the usual stone setting of your study. In the distance, you hear a storm brewing. You continue to pull the oar even though your arms are tired, and occasionally your friend Casper mutters words of encouragement. Dykstra, I'll have you share what your character looks like as the other 3 are sitting in the boat with you.
Okay, looks like description. So, Dijkstra is an average-sized kid. He's about 18 years old, with long, blonde, waxed dreadlocks, light blue eyes. He wears an elaborate style and often, big hat, feathered cap. He's kind of frivolous in that, but despite his ostentatious clothes, he's kind of an introvert. But long leather colored trench coat, a large brim black leather hat, a pair of strap black leather boots, and a set of red leather side pouches are the accompaniments that matches the coat. One thing you can see, he's always wearing a kind of a gold ring with a gem on it. He's wearing that, and that's kind of the prominence on there, and he's sitting there rowing. Kind of got a frown of, why is he always stuck doing the kind of the bitch work, kind of frown as a teenager, like, why am I doing this? Look on his face.
Excellent. Sitting next to you is Casper. Casper, I'll have you describe yourself.
I am probably a middle-aged man. I'm wearing what one expect to be somewhat fancier clothes, long sort of trench coat, and a vest, a waistcoat. I have with me many books. I'm quite gaunt and quite sunken in my face, and there is some scarring, but nothing noticeable. My eyes are very sunken and hollow looking. I have thin, wispy hair, and I'm always looking like I'm off in the distance, or I get very lost in details. But you would think that I was sickly if I wasn't so sprightly. So, but about average height, and yeah. That's it.
Excellent. In the rear of the boat, Roderick, if he were here, you reflect silently on the water, wondering if your father cast his gaze on similar nights during his years as a fisherman. The bright moon shining off the water guides your way, and in the distance you see a landmass slowly gaining size. I will save Roderick's description for when our friend Nathan is back. But moving from him, I guess, essentially, he looks over at you, Uther. A storm. Fortune favors us. So, sitting next to him, Uther, your hoofed leg is fidgeting in anticipation. After months of cat and mouse games, could this be the night? Could this be the reunion with... I'm getting an artifact. I wonder if somebody opened their mic or something. That's better?
Hello?
Yeah, I think we're good. Could this be the reunion with Wyoma? Months of time lost and always one step behind her. An empty hovel in the forest. An abandoned camp. A flooded cave. Each holding hope of a possible reuniting. This most recent lead from a gypsy in a tavern in Waterdeep. Optimistic yet pensive, you sit at the back of the boat. Uther, what do they see when they look at you?
Often with a extremely determined stance and expression. Uther, ever wearing his helm, you may see his deep brown eyes through them if the light's just right. Also often prepared, staying in his chainmail as wanting to be able to get up and protect himself if need be at a moment's notice. You'll notice one of his gauntlets, his left one, has a stitching of an eye on it, an open eye. That being, some of you might know as one of his religious symbols. And he has a ring through his, a gold ring through his nose as well. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up his appearance. His ivory horns come out. He's full-on minotaur, very bulky, and often has his halberd very close at hand as well.
So the three other party members in the boat with you have spent good of the last few months working to track Wyoma. What might they know as part of your backstory? You can share as much or as little as you like.
Uther seems to have known Wyoma for not since like early childhood, but like they seem to share some sort of backstory in terms of, well, no, it's not my backstory, but there has been a history between them. It's not just trying to find someone who he met casually, and there seems to be a greater purpose behind it. He would have shared as much that she presents a great danger to Waterdeep itself, if not the rest of the world. And her passion, untethered, could result in great catastrophe. And so, I suppose part of the reason why we're all on this boat is to try and find her and convince her to temper herself.
Okay, excellent. We're going to leave those in the boat for a moment. I'm going to switch rooms. So bear with me for a second. We now switch to Gazel. You awake to the sound of a raven cawing in the night air. Oddly, you're no longer tied to the tree. Well, hell, this wouldn't be the first time you fell from your place of slumber. You get up, you shake off a piss, trying to gain your bearings. The forest is thick. You can smell rotting wood. A thick fog is rolled in from the north. It's at that point you realize, fuck me. The caravan is gone from the road. As you walk to the road, you start to kick a stone, and you move to the south, walking slowly, trying to piece together your evening. There was an attractive barmaid, many ale. The unattended caravan that surely no one minded you borrowing. But where the hell are you? This place unfamiliar, the forest far too thick to be outside Waterdeep. You stumble down the road, wondering how drunk you were. Please feel free to describe yourself.
Alright. So if you could see Gazel. Gazel's about a 4'5", 130-pound dwarf. He's not particularly well built by dwarven standards. He's kind of a little bit slender and got a bit of a pot belly on him. He's got brown eyes, greasy black hair. He's fairly pale, as dwarves tend to be. He's currently wearing looks like a kind of a mismatched set of clothes. The pants were obviously a little bit too long and been cut off, and the shirt for a little bit more slender, possibly a woman. Not quite sure what or why he's wearing it. Once again, the sleeves have been tailored poorly. But over that, he's got a set of well-worn leather boots and a decent leather chest piece and a backpack.
Excellent. You wander forward for what seems to be half an hour. Then ahead of you in the middle of the road, you see a figure standing there. And with that, you'll again switch maps. Let's see, map. Are you guys seeing a map? Perfect, yeah. It's at the top of the map. I just had to scroll up. Autumn. A wolf howls in the distance, and after many hours of walking, you expected to see the great walls of the city of Splendor, Waterdeep. Instead, you see a thick, cold fog. It's made navigation troublesome. You stare at a rudimentary map a friend has made for you, but none of the landmarks you're looking for seem present. Please feel free to describe yourself.
So Autumn is a brash young beauty of the Nine Hells, tiefling with blood red skin, and her eyes reflect the fires of the Hells, like their fire glow in her eyes. She has shoulder-length hair, but it's half her head is shaved, and she wears a long dress while carrying a lute.
Excellent. You spend a few minutes trying to find your bearings. You turn the map over in your hands, wondering if you have it upside down. Suddenly, you hear the sound of rocks being shuffled on the road. Turning to the north, you see a short figure approaching. It was bad enough you felt like you were being watched, but now you're confident someone or something approaches you. And with that, I'm going to have Gazel and Autumn roll soft initiative.
Soft.
PvP begins!
We're so squishy, we're level 1. Oh no.
Smack. Chill.
Alright. So
Rocket
Autumn, you notice that figure coming to you. What would you like to do?
I'm going to shout out, I seem to be adrift. Do you know whereabouts we are?
Gazel, you hear that.
The fuck you talking about? You're not on a fucking water, you're on a fucking road. You don't drift on a road. Now, you see the caravan?
What caravan do you speak of?
That's a no. Okay. Fuck me, how much did I drink?
Okay. So, two of you now are side by side. You see each other as described previously. Anything else you'd like to do at this point?
Does any of this land seem familiar to you? I'm not from this area.
Trees, road, looks like the surface. It's not
Okay.
snowy, so we're not too far north. I'm gonna look at the road and see how well used it is.
Okay. You want to like do an investigation?
Sure. You can do an investigation or whatever would be appropriate.
Well, if you're just trying to look at general use of the road, I'd take an investigation. If you want to look at more so, like, specific tracks, that type of thing, something like a survival, you can choose.
He's basically just trying to figure out if the roads has much traffic.
Sure, go ahead and roll that investigation.
5.
Yeah, I mean, you look down at the road, and I mean, you can see some what appears to be marks of a carriage, and random foot traffic, but nothing past that.
If I were to look up, would I be able to see the stars? Or is it too foggy?
It's incredibly foggy, essentially all around you, especially foggy to the north and to the sides of the road. The other direction, south down the road, less foggy. Still some fog, but not to the same thickness that you see elsewhere.
I'm gonna look at Gazel. One way seems as good as the other. Maybe we should travel together until we find somewhere safe.
Sounds reasonable. I mean, I got nothing better to do. I was supposed to meet up with my fucking caravan, but looks like the fuckers left me. Somebody also untied me from my fucking tree. Just probably fucking Pete the cook. Fucking prick.
So as the two of you start to make your way down the road, you can't help but think something in the forest around you is watching you. And we're going to do a map change again. So we're now back in the boat. As you row closer to the shore, the winds pick up. With the crack of thunder and the flash of lightning, the ocean begins to churn. Occasionally, a wave hits the small boat, moving it erratically. Casper, you're finding it harder and harder to keep the boat straight. In the distance, a strange blue aura, probably 200 feet away. You continue to row towards the landmass and this blue aura. 200 feet from shore, you can see the cause of the storm. And I'll bring up a different map.
Oh no.
Okay. A single person stands within a tiered altar. Fallen runes. You can't make out what she's saying, but she gestures, moves her hands. The wind whistling around her like a tornado, flashes of blue and white energy surge and pulse from her vicinity. You're about 200 feet from shore. Anybody on the boat want to do anything at this point?
Just noting that Uther looks twice as determined as usual and completely focused and unerringly pointed towards this energy and precipice altar, I think you mentioned.
Roderick sort of sees you apprehensive in the back, very focused, pipes up. See, I told you. Talos favors us. The storm. It's a good omen.
Curse Talos. This must be Wyoma's doing. Quick, take us into shore. We must stop whatever's happening here.
You guys continue to paddle towards shore. Around 25, 30 feet, you hear a voice. And you now see the figure more closely. And I'm going to open up a picture in the top left of the map. Do you see the picture? Yeah, perfect. And you hear this voice. Is that you, Uther, darling? Unfortunately, you're far too late, my love. I've been invited to a place where I won't be persecuted for who I am. And the master of these lands will protect me, as you should have. And upon those words, the altar surges, begins to pulse, and a beam of light streaks across, hitting the mountainside. As that blue light surges, you now see an archway in the side of the mountain. It wasn't visible prior to the energy hitting it, but now that it's hit it, it's clear that there's an archway there. A blue aura emanates from the arch, and from it, a figure emerges. His black hair slicked back and proper, his vestments a royal burgundy with visible gold buttons even at this distance. His shoulders clad with shining armor, moving into a fur-topped cloak. His left hand resting on a sheathed longsword, his right hand palming a red liquid in a fine crystal glass. He takes his left hand off his sword, holds it out to her in welcome. I'm going to pause for a moment. As you guys are in the boat, you're still not at the shore. Anything you want to do at this point?
We saw the figure come out.
Absolutely. You walk straight out of the blue portal from the side of the mountain.
Oh, Dijkstra would be looking back at his seniority, be like wide-eyed, be like, you'd see the fright in his eyes, like, what are we doing here? And then kind of questioning the loving comments with Uther.
Uther would reach out and say, "No, Wyoma!"
Do we know this gentleman?
All of you.
We all know him.
Oh, do you know him? Sorry, I thought you said, do you notice him? Yes, you've all noticed him.
Like, do we know him, or perhaps more pointedly, I would look at Uther and ask him specifically, who is this?
You have no knowledge of this figure.
This doesn't bode well. We have to stop her. Quick! And I'll run to the front and I'll grab an oar and start pushing along with them.
Awesome. So you guys frantically are rowing your way in. Now, all you hear back in response to your plea, "You're too late, Uther. You're much too late." And the figure shifts from the altar to the blue archway, taking this male figure's hand, and he ushers her into the blue aura. He then proceeds to follow behind, but in the last moments in view, he turns looking back at all of you with something that you just can't mistake it to be a momentary grin. frantically, though, your boat hits the shore now with a thud. All of you are tossed forward, and I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw as your boat hits the rock shore. All right, is that a nat 20, Casper?
No, it's a 16.
Is it? Okay, good.
16 plus 6.
Perfect. All right, so anyone who's rolling above 10, you see the rock shore, you anticipate the jolt as the boat hits. You take no damage as you guys sort of right yourself. Those who are below 10, though, or 10 or below, excuse me, you take 1d4 damage as you bludgeon yourself into the boat, falling forward.
Would you like do you roll that?
Oh, yep, I can roll it. I just have to get up.
Oh man, half health, just hit the rocks.
Excellent.
And Jace is down. Ooh.
Yeah, so you weren't completely anticipating that, Dykstra, and you basically slam your back into the back of like the front part of the boat, the bow of the boat.
Just headbutt, take a broken nose, bleeding, kind of bruised up, squinted eyes, tearing up. Yeah, that hurt.
Partly due to Uther's vigor and the fact that he was rowing so feverishly that you guys had the boat was cruising right up into these rocks.
Just conceptually, like Uther came and grabbed like each one of the oars and was just like pumping, like helping you guys on each side. Yeah.
Casper will go in and pick up Dijkstra. And like, are you okay, my young friend? Like, are you hurt?
Yuki's visibly hurt, bleeding. That was definitely a good blow to the face. He got pretty much his wits knocked from him right now.
I'll like look for like a kerchief or something, just like at least try and stem the bleeding.
Yeah, it's mouth, lip. He's got a fat lip developing already, and that hurt a lot.
Still much to learn, and I'll help him like up to his feet.
Yeah, he'll follow up, holding his face, and the blood just kind of gushing at this moment. That hurt.
So as you guys scramble to the shore, you can see that the sort of raised altar in the center of this stone area continues to glow with a blue aura, as well as the portal in the side wall. Actually, I probably forgot to give you guys the image of that, but there it is. Yeah. And just need to remove that figure because they've now walked into the portal. So I'll have you guys start to think about what you may want to do in this area, and we're going to switch scenes again. So we're moving away from the boat group, and we're heading back to Gazel and Autumn.
So
All right. Sorry, one sec. So Gazel and Autumn, from the mist, you start to see a series of yellow eyes emerging from all around you. And we will use the initiatives you've already rolled, but kind of glimpsing in and out of the fog are yellow eyes, and you make them out to be a number of wolves that have presented themselves, and they are slowly starting to circle you. So I believe, Autumn, you had the highest initiative roll previously.
Yeah.
You can start to discuss what you want to do.
I'm gonna look over at my dwarven friend. Like, got ourselves surrounded by some unwanted company, it seems. I think we should run, to be honest.
Of the sentiment, but you know my legs are like 2 feet long, right? Like I can't stop you if you're gonna, but you're not gonna get much further after they mangled my corpse. So I'm hoping you got something aside from that loot. And I'll draw my rapier.
I will also draw my rapier.
Okay.
Back to back.
So you guys are taking a bit of a defensive position as I see it.
And then I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy right next to one of the wolves to cause the ground to tremor harmlessly.
Okay. Are you trying to persuade them to take off?
I'm gonna try to see if it'll scare it away, yeah.
Okay. I'll take a persuasion. See how well you were able to perform this.
That is a 19.
All right. So you can describe kind of what that sounds like.
So just kind of a rumbling starts to happen in the earth around the one wolf, and just tremors start forming in the intent to try and make it seem like coming towards us I can control the earth and swallow them whole, kind of thing.
Okay. Let's give me 1 second. Just loading my encounter here. 1 second. Okay. So you bellow out with that thunderous sound, hoping that you'll scare them away. Fortunately, in this case, these wolves continue to mount towards you. They're not running and rushing at this point, but they are creeping. Every once in a while, you get a glimpse of them, sort of shadowing in and out of the sort of mist and fog. It's so thick in some areas that you can only get a momentary glimpse of them, and then they're lost again. And then you see them again. Mostly it's just those yellow eyes piercing out, and occasionally hearing a bit of a growling sound as they start to approach. And we're going to leave you guys there as you're thinking about what you want to do next. We're going to move to the other group. So the boat group, you guys now have shuffled onto the stone. And this is a very, a whole region, lots of stone, the whole rock face. And then, kind of in retrospect, now seeing where your boat collided into the rock shore, probably thinking to yourselves, you should have anticipated that this was going to be a harsh landing. But you see the blue aura on the altar, you see the blue aura on the portal. The site is yours. What would you guys like to do?
Seriously.
Looking back to see if Jextra is standing and up. And seeing that she's being helped up. Sorry, go ahead.
He's definitely up and at him, just holding his face. He kind of lost his balance and face planted and took a good fat lip, bleeding kind of nose shot. but it is very sore and still holding his face at this point. Seriously contemplating using a potion of healing this quickly, but I'm just gonna wait. But it's like, yeah, he's hurt.
Is a look at Uther. Is that was your friend? Yeah, you should.
That was Wyoma.
I mean, if she is gone, does she still present the danger, or is it salt itself?
Wherever she is, she presents a danger. If there's an ocean for her to gather energy from, then therein lies the danger. We shouldn't tarry. We should follow. And perhaps she herself could be in great danger. That individual did not seem to wish us well in any case. The red liquid he was sloshing around didn't seem to bode well either.
Would we know from the distance you're at? Would we know what that was?
I would take a perception.
Okay.
From anyone, or
Anybody who was trying to ascertain what they thought they saw.
22.
Yeah, I mean, you're not 100% sure what the red fluid was, but I mean, looking at the nature of the glass, it looked like possibly an alcoholic beverage of some kind. Maybe wine, maybe something else.
strike that.
I mean, you're probably right. Consumption of alcohol is not good for anyone. But
It must be stopped.
does it look like the portal or the auras here are waning? I might take my human friend to sort of be arcanely what is happening. Yeah,
So
I'm gonna never pass up a good.
wiping the tears from my eyes, I'm going to take a better look at the portal and kind of approach it a little bit. Hopefully someone's and look at the portal and kind of with my kind of knowledge of Arcana, hoping to gauge it. Is it waning? Is it shutting down? What's happening with the fire? Is that kind of should we stay away? Is it something that could afflict us?
Yeah, so go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
I will help you in your investigation.
28.
Ooh, shit.
Not that you need it. You are a brilliant student, but
Just of the arcane arts, nothing else.
So, Dexter, you stroll towards the portal, and as you start to pass the altar, you notice on the top of the altar, and you're kind of examining that aura as you pass, you see that there's a number of runes etched into the stone top of the surface of the altar itself. And with that roll, I'm going to say you don't know exactly what the runes are saying, but you get a sense from enough of the figures and symbolism that you know this is an ancient magic, and that it does have, obviously, you know, having seen what you've encountered tonight, that this isn't some ancient magic around portal, opening a portal.
Okay, anything about it's losing its power? Do we have to rush through that portal off to the west?
At this point, both seem to be glowing with that same blue aura.
Looking at those symbols, is it anything that Uther would recognize as far as languages go?
Which
That's
language?
less too.
Nope, nothing you've seen before.
Seems to be very old language.
Well, unless anyone has any other thoughts about this, I think we should go in.
Seems to be sustained at this point, and it's not dangerous.
Roger pipes up. Uther, this is a test for us. We should follow her.
There is no question. Test or not, I can't leave her alone. Test or not. Well, that came in.
Okay. With that, Roderick turns, runs, and jumps into the portal, into the side wall of the mountain, through the archway.
Uther will go right behind him. Horns first.
Okay, everybody's following?
I would just pause and talk to Dijkstra and just be like, I do not trust this. This could end very poorly, but we don't have much of a choice. Just be mindful.
And he looks at his bloody and goes, I'll follow you. Yes, be mindful, thank you. But he'll also go from leather strap to leather strap and rub across. And you'll see that kind of leather strapping gets enforced around his arms, gets enforced around his shins, around his abdomen and everything like that. And I'm just, before we're hopping in, going to cast mage armor.
Okay.
And the only thing I would add is I would use my interaction to pull out my shield and not fully unsheath my rapier, but definitely unclip it from its hilt to make it as ready. But definitely I have my shield, I'd pull it out and have it in front of me as I go through this portal.
Okay, perfect. Just going back to grab. I need initiatives from. It was Autumn and Gazel. Do you remember what your initiatives were?
21.
21 and 13, I think. Okay, just one second.
I'm already at half health.
Perfect.
I cast Vicious Mockery.
So as,
Locked to
Before
death.
we-
as all of you step through the archway, you each feel pulled as if you're attached to a tether, yanking you forward. In a flash, you no longer hear the sounds of waves nor the salty air. Your journey stops abruptly as you emerge on a roadway. A jolt forward, then released as if the virtual tether is severed. And I'm going to bring up an image. And as you guys come out of the portal, you're very disorientated. And I need everyone who's just gone through the portal to roll a dexterity save.
Again. I can only roll so many of these above 10 with my -1.
And so I have Blade Ward up just for that too. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Look at that.
All right. So, for everyone other than Uther, the DC is 15. If you rolled less than that, you fall prone, disorientated as you're coming out of the portal. Uther, your DC is 20.
Uh-oh.
As you emerge,
You
not
roll
only
that. You rolled that.
isn't that sweet? As you emerge, not only do you feel jolted, but where you had hooves on your hands and feet, you stand, or you basically are on the road in bare human feet. Your dominant hand has reverted to its human fingers, your non-dominant a hoof. Your skin is no longer red and tan. It's now human flesh. And your human head, you have minotaur horns. The only remnant of your altered self outside of your hoofed hand. Any questions on your new appearance before we...
Sorry, I have one hoofed hand on my non-dominant hand, and then I have my horns.
Yeah, you bet. Everything else is reverted back to a human form.
Okay, done. Oh, well, great, fantastic.
The rest of you, so anyone less than, like I said, less than that DC of 15, you're now prone as you stumble out of this portal. Uther, you are prone and looking at yourself, trying to figure out what's going on. For all of you, rather than seeing Wyoma or the mysterious lord on the road, rather you see two figures standing before you, a dwarf and a tiefling. You notice around them, there seems to be a number of wolves descending, snarling and snapping their monstrous teeth. And right away, you've exchanged that salty, stormy air that was around the ocean near Waterdeep for a cold mist, almost soupy in nature, thick behind you, opening up in front of you, but on the sides of the road, very thick again. And for Gazel and Autumn, you see this blue circular aura appear, figures stepping out of it. And at this point, I'm going to have the everyone but Gazel and Aura and Autumn roll initiative, please.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah, you bet.
No time to lay about. Battle stations, everyone. We're all under attack.
I'm gonna look over at her. So you pray or something for this shit?
No, not I.
Damn. I thought maybe I'd have to get in on that sweet, sweet god action if that worked.
All right, what do we got for initiatives? I see Dykstra 19 and Uther 6.
At 21.
Oh, perfect. See that? Yep.
Also,
So between Casper and Autumn, higher decks, or do you guys want to do rollies? You both have 21.
Oh, what's your dex?
My dex is +4. +2.
So it's
+2.
+2, mine's +4.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get you at 22 then, Casper.
I was not expecting that.
Okay, bear with me for a second. Okay, so you guys at this point see those of you who've come out of the portal. You see a wolf here, a wolf down below you. You hear rustling in the trees here and here. Also some snarls and snaps as if creatures are there. Although you, again, much like described earlier, these wolves seem to move through the mist. It's hard to see them consistently. Sometimes you see them and the next they're in the mist and then they pop up again as they're moving in. And we will start at the top of the order with Casper at 22.
I'll take half movement to stand up because, you know, the thing you do. And I'll look over at Uther and my face will be quite a bit of shock, and then I'll look at two individuals, do some quick math, and be like, Wyoma, did you as well have transmutation issues coming to this place?
Looking at the tiefling, I assume.
Looking at the tiefling, yeah.
What do you mean? I always look like this.
Uta, do you always look like this when you're not in... I'm quite confused.
Not for some time. I'm blown away. I'm on the ground still as well. Yes.
And then I'll probably just take the dodge action.
Okay. We've got Autumn and then Dijkstra on deck.
I'll switch it. Yeah, Dijkstra. I'll make it clear. Yeah.
Dijkstra.
Sorry. It's that broken Dutch English.
I am gonna move towards the larger group. Because I feel like there's more safety in numbers. I'm going to look at the dwarf and be like, you should come along. I don't think we should be by ourselves against these wolves.
Okay. Dijkstra.
So we're kind of huddling up. I made a gesture to kind of help Casper, but he hopped up. So kind of like where you falter and oh, I didn't want him to notice that I did that. I'm going to cantrip Blade Ward on myself, and this one's touching a patch on the shoulder with my ringed hand, and I cast Blade Ward on myself as my action, and then looking at the portal, is it still up?
I'll have you roll a perception.
Perception. That's a good 10.
So it's still up, but again, with that previous arcane roll you had, you can tell that the energy is now ceasing and it's starting to close.
Okay, I'm gonna last chance escape through here to the group, and point towards it and kind of look in reaction to see if that's what the group chooses to do.
Okay. Excellent. Gazel and then Uther.
Okay, Gazel, hearing that, is going to double move and try and jump through the portal.
Okay. I'm going to have you make a acrobatics or athletics, something to...
16 acrobatics.
Okay. So, Gazel, you charge back towards the party, diving for the portal as it energy starts to pulse. Just as you get towards it, closes shut. No longer there. But you continue to sail as if like you're sailing through it. Boom, onto the ground. You're now laying where the portal once existed.
Don't you look silly? Sorry.
That's right, I just had to remove it. Anything else you want to do, Gazel, as you're now sort of laying face first where the portal was?
Would have been 36 out of 50 feet. I probably don't have enough movement to stand back up, so I'm just gonna roll onto my back so I can look up at them. Be like, well, it's a lie.
All right. Uther, you see the dwarf dive past you, only to be laying flat on its face and then rolling over and making some comments. What would you like to do?
Uther will put his hand and hoof. I can't say hands or hooves. I have to say hand and hoof every time now. Just push it up off the ground, and he'll snort despite not having Minotaur features anymore. He'll, no matter. Where Wyoma was is not there any longer. We must move forward. And I'll look around at the wolves, and do I still see them kind of slowly approaching?
You do.
And who? Sorry, I don't know everyone's tokens yet. I'm going to be moving to make a defensive standpoint. Beside me here is
That's
Roderick,
Roderick.
and then in the middle we have
That's a pretty big
Casper?
frown right here.
Dijkstra, Casper's at the south.
Yeah, that's
South, and that's Dijkstra, and that's Gazel. Okay, and that's
Autumn.
Alex Autumn. Okay, and I'll step forward to sort of put myself in the limelight on this side of things. Or no, Roderick is pretty. He handles himself fairly well as far as hit points go, just meta wise. Yeah. Okay, so I'll step to the south then, and I'll stamp my feet and like brush them back, almost like I'm ready to rumble. But I'll hold an action to use my horns to gore whatever comes within 5 feet of me,
Okay.
and I'll make a loud snorting noise like.
Awesome. All right, so with that, it's going to be Roderick and the wolves' turn. Roderick is going to hold an action, and I'll just leave that for a moment. Wolves, though, they start to descend upon you guys. This one here comes right at Roderick. It's going to attempt to make an attack. Unfortunately missing as it chomps down trying to bite him, but he kind of swiftly dodges out of the way. This wolf here is going to move down 20, 30. And this one moves towards you, Uther. And again, as it approaches you close, you can now see it. It's a smaller gray wolf. Lots of drool, though, pouring out of its mouth as it snarls and snaps at you. Attempts to take a bite. Ooh, I've got just awesome dice tonight. It also misses.
And I can hold my attack then, as well?
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome, okay. Seeing it come bite at me, I move my one leg out of the way and I swing down with an 11.
Just as you go to swing your horn into it, again, it kind of buckles its head, sweeps right past its skull, missing.
Okay.
Roger continues to hold an action. For now, that's the wolves you can see. They've taken their turn. We're back at the top of the order with Casper, then Autumn.
I'm trying to determine if they're hungry or just mean. I'm gonna take one of my day's rations from my pack and like throw it as far as I can throw it to the south to see if they're just looking for food or if they're, otherwise set on us.
Okay. I'm going to kind of equally take that as a bit of a persuasion, trying to persuade them away from the group. Take a persuasion roll on that.
Sure. How am I at that? Oh dear.
But you'll roll well.
6.
So yeah, you take that food, you launch it, and it kind of sails over that gray wolf. Doesn't seem fazed by it. Doesn't turn. Continues to snarl its way forward.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's my turn. Maybe am I in melee with?
I would say you are. You're the one on the bottom, yeah.
Then I'll stay where I'm at.
Okay. Fair enough. No bonus action. Okay. Good enough. Autumn, then Dijkstra.
So I'm gonna move more deeply towards the group so that I'm hopefully less exposed. I'm gonna look over at Casper, not knowing who this guy is or why he's trying to feed the dogs. And like, I think the rations are us for dinner tonight, not that. And I'm gonna look over at the Minotaur man person now, and say to him, you gotta put your back into it, and give him bardic inspiration.
Awesome.
And then I'm gonna use my action to dodge.
Are you a bard of valor by chance?
No, I'm just no school yet.
Oh, fair enough. Right. Yes.
Alright, Dijkstra, then Gazel.
Okay. Already scared and wide-eyed.
You're muted.
Sorry. With Dijkstra already scared and wide-eyed with this, he's going to kind of back up a little bit and get kind of an angle to this wolf that's attacking Brother Roderick. And he's already got Blade Ward up and a mage armor. So this time from his ring, he's going to shoot off a static bolt at the northern wolf. I believe that's what we're doing here. So it's going to be a plus, so a net or dirty 20.
Ooh. So from that ring, that energy streaks out and hits.
And, oh, well done. 10 lightning damage to the wolf that's attacking Brother Roderick.
So, as that energy hits him, you see the wolf buckle for a moment, as if like it's quite hurt, almost stumbling and continuing forward as it tries to approach Roderick. But you can tell you've done significant damage.
Okay.
Good roll.
Very good rolls. I'll keep an eye focused on that, but I'm more like being self-aware, making sure my 180 in front of me does not have anything jump out, because I'm already hurt. That's my turn.
Awesome. Gazel.
Gazel's going to use half of his movement to get to his feet. As he does, he's going to draw a dagger. He's going to mutter under his breath the whole time. Something about lost in the woods and who do the gods send for help? Drunks, liars, and fools. Referring to the Minotaur, the wizard, and somebody that just threw food at a wolf. Then he's gonna try and throw a dagger at this wolf here.
So wizards are liars.
Okay, roll the hit.
Nine.
So that dagger goes whistling right past it, hitting the cobblestone on the road, ping, and bounces up into the brush just in behind it.
Okay.
Any bonus of it, guys?
I think he has any bonus actions.
Such a love level 1.
No. Nope. He's just gonna shake his head and wait for whatever happens.
Okay, fair enough. Uther and then Roderick and the Wolves.
Uther will shift his halberd into one hand, reach behind him and grab his shield and pull it out. And then he's going, as he does that, he's pulling it down. He's going to use the momentum coming down and swing down at the wolf again and try and hit him with his, kind of lifting up with his head, trying to attack the wolf in front of him again.
You get an additional 1d6 if you want.
Do I get to know, can I spend that before I know the result? Or after, or doesn't matter?
Before you know whether or not it hits, I believe.
Okay, I'm okay with an 18, but I
18
will
does
take
hit.
that one. Okay. And then
Roll damage.
6 piercing damage. I'm also going to use my bonus action to shove it 10 feet back. But they have to, unless they succeed on a strength saving throw of DC 13. Excuse me.
Dirty 20. So it,
For the wolf.
although you damaged it, it does hold its ground.
So I like lift it up and then it kind of like pushes back down against me, trying to throw it away. 2 beans.
It does. And with that, Roderick is going to make an attack, and Dijkstra, you notice that he's got an incense, like one of those incense burners on a chain.
Sensor.
He starts to swing it around like a flail. Attempts to crack the wolf straight in the face.
He's got like a sensor.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. Thanks.
I'm very
Unfortunately, as he swings it around wildly, it sweeps past and misses. The wolf, though, the one that you hit with that energy, tries to retaliate by biting Roderick. And yeah, no, that's not going to happen either. So the two of them sort of sparring with each other, neither really taking purchase. These two from the south now move in, or the east, excuse me. One trying to bite you, Autumn, the other trying to bite Uther. First attack is on Autumn. That's going to be a 14 to hit.
I am dodging, so I think that's...
Disadvantage. 13 to hit.
13 will still hit.
Eight points.
Oh no. Okay.
How are you
Level
looking?
1. Level 1.
I have 1 hit point.
Iska.
Excellent. The attack on you, Uther. No, it misses as it jumps up towards you.
I'll pull my shield up as it scrapes against it aimlessly. How about thee?
And the second wolf below you, the gray one, also takes its attack. Oh, you guys are lucky. No, that misses.
In against my own interest, they have pack tactics?
Not these ones.
Okay, cool.
So, we are back at the top of the order. Casper, then Autumn.
Yeah, well, obviously feeding the dog did not work. I will unsheath my rapier. I'll take a half step forward, and I will attempt to plunge the tip of the blade into the wolf in front of me.
Excellent. Roll the hit.
I'm gonna switch digital. Don't fuck me, digital dice. 23 to hit.
Oh, you cleanly hit.
For 6 piercing.
And that's the gray one?
Yeah.
You could describe your kill.
Yeah, so as I, with a flourish of almost fluid-like motion, swinging the rapier out and swinging it and stabbing it, giving it a little twist, I come down through the neck and hitting the jugular and down actually into the chest cavity and pierce the heart. And then as quickly as I shove the rapier in, I'll pull it out and give it a flick to get the blood off of it.
Momentarily you hear this, and it just drops to the ground, a sack of meat. Anything else?
And then I'll take the rest of my movement and I'll just actually gotta measure it.
Yeah, those weirdly shaped squares, rectangles are 5s.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is, because I have 30, I'll take a wide berth on this one wolf, and I'll do like an arch, and I'll swing out, I'll come out behind him to juxtapose between me and Uther, just to put him in a flank position.
Excellent. Autumn, then Dijkstra.
Donning my shield, is that a free action or an action?
I believe it's an action.
Okay, I'm going to don my shield. I am then going to bonus action healing word myself.
Okay.
For 8 healing.
Ooh, nice. Well done.
And that is my turn.
Perfect. Dijkstra, then Gazel.
Okay. Dijkstra is still bloodied of the lip, and he's going to move north in kind of a small retreat. Not too far, but kind of by the woods. Maybe he can hide behind some bark later, and then from the ring again, punch out and send another spark towards the wolf near Roderick. That is this one. 12 to hit.
You just miss.
Okay, so yeah, sailing above him, kind of because I was in retreat, just kind of throwing a jab out. That spark goes up and high. But I'll also look to Roderick, just in case I'm in and concentrating on what that wolf does to Roderick. And that's my turn.
Okay. Excellent. Gazel, then Uther.
Okay. Is there room for Gazel to move here between Uther and Autumn?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Seeing what is currently his oldest friend on this world, he is going to getting attacked by a wolf. He's going to move in here next to her, using his fairly slight build, and attempt to stab it with his rapier. The one attacking Autumn.
You bet. Roll to hit.
$11.
You miss. As the wolf
Okay.
again shifts and thrusts his head just out of the way at the nick of time. I'm gonna pause for a moment and have Dijkstra roll a perception, please.
12. Right beside.
So, shuffling out of the bush behind you, you see another wolf present.
Oh no.
Is it within reaction range?
It's within engagement range. Yep.
Okay. It's not my turn, but I was focusing on the Roderick wolf, so yeah. That's why that 12. Unfocused.
Yep. You did see it. You hear it rustling. It's coming out.
Okay.
Uther.
Uther's going to swing low with his horns again at the wolf in front of him. Once again, attempting to make a push here.
Okay.
An 18 to hit.
Oh
You
yeah.
get advantage though.
That hits.
Oh. Is the flanking rule if like you're directly across from them? That's cool, or
Yeah. That one I would say that's true flanking. We take that.
okay, fishing, and it's not there. But hey, we'll take the 18. 8 piercing damage, and coming with a strength saving throw for 18.
Yeah. So you mull it well. It's still standing, but you can tell that you've taken a good chunk of it as you gore it. And strength-wise, let's take a look. No. So you push it back as well. How far does it get?
I'll say 10 feet off into this direction, south. As I kind of like pull at it and whip him back with grabbing his chest and throwing him off in that direction. Yeah.
Nice.
In hindsight, that probably wasn't such a good idea, but thematically it was cool and worth it.
So, bear with me for a moment. I'm just flipping between character sheets and so I'm trying to play
Roger.
Roger tonight. So, give me just half a second, as I do need him up at this point. Okay, so seeing a wolf come up behind you, Roderick rushes across using his movement to get to you. He's going to take an opportunity attack to do so from the wolf that's in front of him. Which is going to hit him as he's rushing away. And
I'm going to cast Silvery Barbs.
all right. When you see creature doing 60 feet succeeds on an attack roll and ability, yep. You magically distract the creature and triggering a reroll. Okay, you bet. It's a +4 to hit. That's 18. Still hits. Just as Roger rushes away.
Ouch.
You do get to choose someone to get advantage, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, you.
I'm gonna give it myself. I'm gonna give myself advantage.
Oh, I should have disclosed something, and I apologize. Roderick last night hit the shore with the boat with everyone else and did take damage, just so you guys know.
Oh, so he's bloody as well.
He did take a hit. I forgot to mention it.
No worries. It makes me
Between
feel
sessions, but-
not as silly. For
Oh
being
no,
such
no.
a hit.
He also went flying forward and ended up almost landing on top of you.
Perfect. Not just a clumsy kid.
But he does rush across, and he casts Cure Wounds on you, Dijkstra. That's going to give you 6 HP back.
So split lip gets healed, and nose is congealed. I'm kind of spraying, ready to go, shrugging my shoulders.
All right, and then we are back into the wolves. Just give me a second again, sorry. Just need to grab my wolves here. There we go. Okay. So for all intents and purposes, we're gonna hide this one for now, just so he's out of the way. This one here, though, being knocked back, charges the closest person, that being you, Casper. And he's gonna make a bite attack. Uh, 17.
That will miss.
Ooh,
As I put my shield up in time.
Beautiful. The one in front of Gazel is going to take an attack on you, Gazel. Attempts to bite you. 12.
12 will miss.
I am not rolling well.
Missed me by 1.
The one that bit Broderick as he was running away charges after him for another attack. And that's going to miss him. And the one behind you, Dijkstra, tries to chomp down on you. 11.
that will miss.
All right, you guys survived another round of these wolves. Back to the top of the order, Casper.
As I kind of buckle from the impact on the shield, I'm going to swing it around, and then same as it comes around, the rapier is going to come out and right into the snout of the wolfie in front of me.
Roll to hit.
Okay. 17
That's a hit.
for 8 piercing damage.
Describe your kill.
I'll say 9. That's a bad dog. As I again like 9 into the forehead, kind of like I'll give it another twist and pull out and flick.
As another wolf drops to the ground.
I thought
Go ahead.
I thought he was going to say another wolf appears. I was like, what is happening?
To appear where this one was felled. Oh no!
Yeah, it's
Uh,
next week. It's please re-roll all your characters.
Yeah,
The wolf stands up and grows 2 heads where the one was.
it's basilisk. No, Hydra wolf.
Hydra wolves.
And then I'll go and I'll move behind this other one, just to put it in a flanking position again.
All right. Autumn, then Dijkstra.
I am going to make a stabbing motion with my rapier.
Roll to hit.
Well, even with advantage, I roll a 12.
Just misses. Any bonus?
I will bonus action give bardic inspiration to Gazel. Dear old friend, you better hit this time.
Awesome. Dijkstra, then Gazel.
So this is not what a wizard should be doing right now. But so he, with his one other hand, puts two hands on his quarterstaff and goes to smack the dog that just came to approach him from behind.
Okay.
Just because I'd have disadvantage trying to throw a ranged spell at him. Oh, look at that! I know how to work that quarterstaff. Two hands.
Hey, question while we're here, because I forgot my crit table downstairs. Do you have your crit table?
Oh, I can get it really quick. But I rolled a 19. It was a +1.
Oh, okay. I thought it was nat. Sorry. Missed
Very,
it.
very close. But I can get it really quick. But yeah, only 3. What? Oh, because -1 strength. 3 damage. So that's bad dog. Smack him on the head. And
You turn around and club it straight in the face.
I am still keeping in my peripheral both dogs looking at attacking us and have the ring clenched in my finger ready.
Okay.
It's my turn.
Gazel, then Uther.
Okay. Is Gazel flanking here, just so I know what to roll? Not quite.
Yeah, it's close. I would say sure.
Okay. Say 21 to hit.
You hit.
Nice. This will be one. This plus. Oh, it does roll with it. Nice. Or does it? Yeah. 7 damage total.
Nice. I don't think that wolf has actually taken any damage yet, so you take great purchase on it, doing a fair amount of damage, blood sort of splurting out from the side. Still standing, though. And with that, we're moving to Uther.
I'll see the tide changing in our favor. Wheel his head around and look back at Dijkstra and Roderick. And he'll look to his others and be like, "You guys got this one. I'm going to help the others." And he's going to back up, stamp his feet, rub them back, and he's going to charge forward in a dash, coming at the back side of this wolf here, attempting to gore it.
Okay.
Oh boy. No need advantage for that.
No. And I'm going to say you can describe your kill.
Awesome. Yep. Uther comes in, full speed, takes the wolf out. It's just like about to pounce, and then all of a sudden it's just like dragged back and thrown 10 feet off to the side as it slumps off and just lands, and you hear a crack in its neck. And he's just down for the count. Excellent.
Yeah, so you,
Thought you were going to give it the old water deep heart shot.
Dijkstra, you see that wolf sort of come flinging off of his, not antler, his horn, and essentially break through a bunch of branches, kind of rolling in a crumpled ball on the ground.
Gored him.
Anything else, Uther? Is there a bonus save?
Just finishing his movement, he'd come up, circling around, and then coming straight up to the wolf again, like huffing, and like throwing his chest out.
Okay. That's going to leave us at the wolves. This wolf here is going to take a chomp at you, Gazel, as you just took purchase in it. Man, my dice are not good tonight. I need to change dice at the break. That's a miss. And wolf at the top, again, takes another attack at you, Dijkstra.
Dijkstra, okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay, so I'm at 16 right now. Just 1 second, I'm just going to double check something. Dirty 20. Okay, so as it comes to clinch down, I have 2 hands on the staff, and I put the ring right in front of it, and I whisper shield, basically, in, and I'll bounce my AC to 21. Blocking that and using my last spell slot for the day, because that would have hurt too much. And yeah, so I use as a reaction shield and AC 21 on that chomping attack.
Okay, do you want to describe your shield? I'll describe what it looks like after.
Yeah, so when I come down and put the ring and then whisper to the ring for the somatic component, anything that comes in kind of bounces off arcanely as kind of a whoop sound starts, and everything's from the wrist coming from that energy. It's almost like a static or an electricity that does the bouncing off of. Most of my spells are electrically charged. You'll see bolts and charges, even in the eyes sometimes. They take over electricity.
Okay, so as you quickly pull up that shield, you see the teeth of the wolf sort of chomping on the outside of it, but can't penetrate. I believe that is... There's one more wolf up, I believe. Oh no, this guy, he got gored, right? Yeah, sorry, I didn't move him. That wolf is down. Those are our wolves. Broderick is going to shuffle around the two of you and come to the side of this wolf, and he is going to take another attack with his what did you call that thing? It's like
Sensor.
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 Yeah, there you go.
Go on, Roderick.
The thing I borrow to get my familiar up.
No, that's not a hit. Damn. And with that, we're back at the top of the order, Casper.
Yeah, I guess I will continue to do what we have all come here to do, which is chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm out of bubblegum. Uh, 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
For 9 points of piercing damage.
You can describe your third kill.
As this time I think I will kind of in a very dexterous move, kind of instead of a stabbing motion, I'll flip it up so the blade's facing down, and I'll run forward beside the wolf as he just sort of attacked a mist, and as his head's snapping back from the mist, I'm going to come and kind of half jump and drive into the base of the skull, my rapier. So,
Just like a sack. It's the
Yeah.
ground.
and I'll look up at the new people and I say, I am not necessarily very cruel to animals as a general rule. But are you sure you're not the ones who went through the portal? And that's my turn.
Okay, so there's a question out there. Autumn, then Dijkstra.
I was just traveling to Waterdeep. I don't know what's going on here. And then I'm going to move a bit more this way towards the party and look at this wolf and say, "You got nothing for but bones for brains, don't you?" And cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay, that's a save for me, is it?
Yeah, DC 14. Wisdom.
No.
You take 1 psychic damage.
Describe your kill.
Okay.
Mock it to death.
Level 1 is so awesome. Dijkstra, then Gazel.
Okay. Having 3 people beside me and we're wailing away at this dog, I'm going to repeat my same action last turn with the quarterstaff. Try and hit it. And the amount of people beside me kind of forced me to kind of back away shyly and completely miss on that one. I rolled a 2.
Okay. Any bonus action?
No, but I will look at intently. If this dog looks to bite one of my friends, I'd possibly have a reaction. But that would be my turn.
Okay.
Level 1.
Gazel, then Uther.
Alright. Do I think I have enough of a hole between them to throw a dagger at this thing? Probably not. That's pretty small.
Actually, you probably have 3 feet.
Okay.
I think you'd be okay there.
I'll move kind of closer here so I can get a better shot. I'll pull my dagger as I'm going, and I'll throw it at the wolf here.
Yeah.
My only other remaining dagger. For a nat 1.
I was gonna say, if it was a nat 1, this is gonna set the tone for the campaign. I missed my opportunity to say it.
Don't say that.
Don't forget your bardic.
Okay, I'll have you roll a d20, please.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Alright, it's going to only end well.
Oh my god.
12.
Okay. That dagger goes sailing in between Uther and Roderick. And it comes right past your face, Dijkstra. It doesn't hit you, but it just goes. You see it like inches away from hitting you straight in the face.
That'll break a little bit of my concentration as I look to the right.
And
Origin of the throw.
as it goes past, you can see it lodge itself right into a tree, sort of about 10 inches from your head.
Oh, he's already called wizards liars, and now he throws a dagger at me.
Sorry, mist. It's slippery out here.
What was the other thing? He said something liars and fools?
Drunks, liars, and fools. Because you were sitting there stamping your feet barefoot, charging
yeah.
snorting.
Fair enough. Yeah. Something wrong with me.
We are at next then Uther and the wolves again.
I'll strafe to the side here, getting across from Uther. I'm gonna drop my shield. I'm gonna take my halberd in 2 hands again, and I'm gonna come down on the wolf and see if I can't smack it right.
In hand.
Nice.
Hoof in hand. Yes. Sorry, I misspoke again. So
Give H&H attack.
advantage maybe, and I'll use my bardic. What was it? A D6.
D6.
So a 15 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Excellent. A 12 slashing damage coming down on this young pup.
You absolutely obliterate it, and you can describe your kill.
Uther will strafe to the right and look down at the pup just before hoisting his halberd. and say, "Well met, young one, and your pack are no more." And I'll come down and just slice the back of its neck wide open as the head sags down and the wound opens up, exposing the navel or the bone of the neck, the spine.
So as the final wolf falls to the ground, a lot of blood everywhere there with that last one. It was such a gruesome kill. The group stands with a number of wolves sort of dispatched all over the place. There's a calm. Cold, dark mist still all around you. The party stands looking at each other. And with that, we'll take a 10-minute break and pick up there in 10 minutes, so 9 o'clock.
Nice. So you guys ready, right?
That sounds great.
Always have to say for the stream, we thank you to Sirenscape.
We love you, Sirenscape.
Yes, we do. They are the best for our background sound effects. That's all we have to say.
When the
Jason.
wolf howl went off, it actually scared me. I was like, "What? Was not expecting that."
It's the coyotes outside in the acreage. Okay, see you guys soon.
See you in 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Exit.
Hey, Trevor. Was that saving roll planned for that occasion, or was that
Which one?
the nat 20 that I got?
Oh, they mean the one that.
Altered, yeah, the altered me. That one. You don't have to tell me, by the way.
Yeah, you'll have to do more exploration to get an answer on that.
Okay, fair enough. It could give something away. Like, I was trying to think, is it my nat 20 that caused that, or was that going to happen anyway? Because I have a -1 to my dex, so I could never get it. 20. Yeah, but fair enough. Will remain a mystery for now. Very, very interesting.
I don't like having only 7 hit points.
You like that?
No, I do not like that. It's like getting hit in the head from falling off a raft can kill you almost.
I was joking, especially if you're a wizard or a sorcerer level 1, like you get to a bar fight.
Oh shit! I'm dead.
Literally hits you, or like you trip and fall and stub your toe. Like there's like 2/3 of your hit points for like stubbing your toe. Like sucks to be you.
Considering that wolf almost one-shot me, you would have been dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank goodness for mage armor and shield, eh?
Yep. And by 1. And no more spell slots left.
So with that, if everybody's back and good to go, we'll pick up there and continue on. So you guys now find yourselves again standing in that cold mist, fog all around. Again, seems to be lesser fog to the east or southeast, but you have the scene. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna kind of look around at the group and be like, so what port do you call home? Clearly you're somewhat experienced.
At that point, I'll look around and be like, I don't really see a port around here, but we were just on a ship. Hailing from Waterdeep, to answer your question.
Then are we close to Waterdeep? I've been traveling there from Luskin and seem to have gotten lost on the road.
You're from Luskin?
Yes.
And I'm gonna go try and find my rations that I threw into the bush.
Gavel's gonna try and find his daggers while they're talking.
Looking up at the sky, if there's a sky, is there something I could track, like a spot? So hopping through the portal, possibly no navigationally.
So kind of deal with a couple questions there. So first, to your rations, you do find them that are not hard to find. You didn't throw them that far away. Gazel, one of your daggers is stuck in a tree. That one was easy to find. The other one, I'll take like an investigation, as it did fly into some brush. Yeah, so
You've got Bardic.
you do see the silver in it and are able to recover that one as well. And Dijkstra, sorry, your question around the sky?
If looking up or trying to place ourselves after coming through that arcane portal, so I'm trying to like locate myself. Am I looking north? What's kind of? Is there anything in the sky that I can point to navigationally?
There are stars. You can see them through patches of fog that are sort of floating above you as the wind sort of blows them. Occasionally you can see a star.
Any moon?
Not at this point.
So you were from Waterdeep. She was from somewhere else, and I was leaving Daggerford.
Can I roll an insight on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Is it contested?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like that's like that scene from The Simpsons where I'm from North Kilt Town. I'm from North Kilt Town. Like it's not a real place.
Yeah.
19.
So in your estimation, he's from where he says he is.
Okay. Thinking quickly, oh, this odd daggers. This no, there's must be a dagger fort out there. Yeah,
It is actually a place.
fair enough. Looking at the wolves, would I have found anything odd about their lack of pack tactics? Yeah.
You could roll like a
Insight, probably.
yeah, that I was going to see like a history or something, but insight, sure, I take that.
16.
No, very strange for you that these wolves were working so independently. Yeah, that's all you know.
I'd like to go. I'd mention this to Dijkstra. Maybe? Would I know anyone else as sort of like a... There's no ranger in the group, so... I think Roderick's a cleric, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
I'd probably go to Dijkstra and I'd ask him if he's ever read of anything affecting wolves in this manner or anything like that.
History or what? In nature?
Either. Depending on what you're trying to use, but yeah.
So if I'm trying to pull up knowledge, in nature, I'll do this one. They're both the same. 18?
I also got an 18.
Yeah, so similarly, as you guys hear this, Uther's asking these questions around the wolves. Just thought it was odd that they didn't really seem to like play off of each other. I mean, they did appear together, so they obviously were at some order amongst them, but didn't really benefit them as they all kind of attacked you guys independently, and they were almost skittish to attack it at the beginning.
So definitely uncoordinated, unlike wolves.
Yeah, this is not like wolves that I've ever experienced.
I don't have a knife, I don't think. No, I do not. I'd ask if does anyone want to skin the big one? Perhaps this could be useful in our travels to sort of prove that we have some metal to us. Could be.
We still don't know where we are. That what if we walk into a village that the wolves are kind of revered in a sense? That seems like it might be a poor choice at this junction.
Not to mention icky.
So, do like a lot of humans revere shit that tries to eat them at night? Just, checking.
I think
Running
so.
this in the towns, but
There are many powerful creatures that go bump in the night that people have different levels of worship or reverence for. I'd say yes.
Staring off to the sky, I'll reply. Life's revered everywhere.
Dijkstra, as you spend some time now looking at the sky, You've never seen these stars before. Constellations don't seem at all familiar to you.
So I'll continue looking, but the more I'm looking, the more I'm staring, the more I'm getting disorientated. I'm gonna try and locate. Looking at any of these trees that are around me off to the side, do I recognize any of the local fauna?
I'll have you roll an investigation.
10.
Yeah, the one thing you note seems interesting. These trees are awfully close together.
Tightly packed. Okay.
Tightly packed, dense forest.
Okay. I'm still trying to get my flooring.
Yeah,
That's what you guys like to do.
They say if you want to skin one. Maybe just keep the hide in a bag or something. I have no idea where the hell we are, so I wouldn't turn down some meat. I'm just not that, good at butchering.
I would turn to the dwarf and the tiefling and kind of glance over at our formerly Minotaur friend. It's like, there seems to be something that has people's appearances changing randomly in whatever space this is, and we were following a man and a woman through the portal that we fell out of the sky, and to see a man and a woman standing within close proximity as we left that portal is somewhat striking coincidence. I just want to ask if you are Oanoma, or if you saw people walking this way as they maybe perhaps also fell out of the same portal that we just did moments before.
This dwarf is clearly from Daggerford.
And I have questions for you later, but for now...
I have no idea who you're talking about. I woke up in the woods, wandered out to the road, met her. We walked like 50 feet, and then a bunch of friggin' wolves showed up. And then you guys came out of a blue thing that disappeared when somebody told me I could jump through it. Yeah, I have no fucking idea.
the explosion of insight checks in the chat.
Yeah, so DC is low unless you're contesting it. I would say everything he's saying sounds true.
I don't know many who would choose to be a tiefling by any other means than birth.
Nor I chosen this, but I am working to rid myself of this affliction, and it seems to have worked for me, so...
But was yours a curse of the flesh or a curse of birth?
Admittingly, of the flesh.
No idea what that means. Did your, mom dabble in some things? Like, I've heard there's some places where you can go to in some of the trade towns where they'll put on what they like a pony show or something. But
I was wondering if you were talking to me or Autumn.
Never heard of it.
You'll get a glare from me.
Yeah. So I have to. It would be my Curse of Strahd that has like sexual innuendos in the first session. That's
I had to go there. I have no idea what the hell he is at this point. He's got horns and one hoofed hand.
He's a hoof
And he keeps snapping, so something's wrong with this boy.
That's fair. You get a glare.
He's used to it. But yeah, if I had a choice, I wouldn't have had an inseam of 16 inches. So, we're all dealt what we're dealt.
As you guys continue to sort of banter and get to know your new acquaintances by chance, You do note a number of ravens taking perch up in the trees, sort of above, and occasionally are kind of squawking amongst themselves.
I'm gonna ask Brother Roderick, as I'm kind of still staring at the sky, orientated. Brother Roderick, may I use your sensor for a moment and see if you will let me begin a ritual within it?
Yes, Charles. He hands it over to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna you guys have I'm gonna start a ritual. No one, you can interrupt me, but it will take 11 minutes. So me and Roderick are going to kind of concentrate on that, lighting a fire with charcoals with embers within it, and then I'm going to add a bit of dusting that I take out a little vial in a pouch that I have off to my side and put that within, and then start the incantations as I start to swirl it in a circle of 8.
As that
Excellent.
is going on, I would talk to Uther and ask him what his impressions of the figure that came out as a portal, and see if you can sort of ascertain perhaps the origins of this individual. Specifically, if he thought perhaps there was any notion that this was a fae or a fiend or some type of, undead creature that perhaps is calling to his friend.
Sorry, you're asking that to Uther?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, you're asking if the guy who came through the portal is calling his friend?
Well, no, just like if you had, if there was any, if you thought that perhaps he was unnatural, perhaps in his ways, if he was perhaps, I know we are tracking a friend who has gotten herself into a bit of trouble, and may perhaps if there was any sort of trying to think of, we are on another plane or somewhere else, and that takes some magic, and so that might be fiendish in nature or fae, or something more sinister.
That's a bit outside of my wheelhouse. I did notice that he didn't seem to be able to hide his joy in my displeasure at failing to prevent Wyoma from going through the portal. But aside from that, I know not of this man. But I have started out hating him already.
We are not where we once were, but do we know that we are on a different plane?
I'm not quite certain. You said the stars you don't recognize, and the stars are somewhat consistent if on the same planet. So we could be on. We are definitely not on Theron anymore, if that's the case.
That could be a fair assessment.
Could I do maybe perhaps a survival check to note that if there is anything fayish or fiendish or undead-ish, and if they have passed this way?
You bet.
Not so good. To 12.
Yeah, nothing you can tell. Nothing specifically that would indicate any of those creatures.
Would Uther be aware of which... I don't know how closely you went exactly with my backstory, but would Uther have an idea of which god cursed him?
I gotta remember your backstory. I want to say we do know that. Let me just go back and grab it.
Last paragraph.
Yeah, you know this.
Okay. Could I?
It's up
I
to you
do
how
a-
much you want to share or do with the group. Yeah.
I'd just look up to the crows and I'd want to do a religion check on them to see if they're there at the bidding of that god or not.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a religion.
Old 9. Love that.
Now, in this mist, it's really hard to tell outside of the fact there's some birds there. To you, they look like crows.
Fair.
There's a bunch. They keep jumping branch to branch, kind of squawking. Some fly, some come.
I'll look up at the crows for a moment, shake my head, and then I'll look at the other players, and then I'll look at Dijkstra, who's doing his ritual, and I'll station up close beside with my halberd standing.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to do at this point?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe some introductions are in order so that we can put to rest your fear that we are whoever you seem to be pursuing. I don't fully understand. But I am Autumn Silvernote of Luskin, a bard you may have heard of, perhaps. And then I'm going to start plucking some chords on my lute.
Excellent.
Have we heard of her?
I have the feat by popular demand, but I don't know if you would have heard of me.
You could do I guess depending on your backstory, have you been to Luskin or around Luskin?
No. It'd be like
that's not
Sorry.
from the place that we are at. You definitely would have heard of Luskin, so that's
We would definitely have heard of, like, I'm educated on geography. Past those studies, basic high school, GED already completed.
So if anyone's backstory had them at any point in their lifespan in Luskin, you can roll a history if you like. Otherwise, I would say, yeah, you've not heard of her.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with those, for you, Gazel, that role, you know a lot of women. You've met a lot in a lot of different bars. Maybe there's some familiarity there of a bar from Luskin, but you can't be 100% sure. And similarly, not for the same reasons, Casper, again, possibly, but it's not clear. Not like you guys have met and have any kind of acquaintance.
My kind of curiosity would be I haven't probably witnessed too many tieflings, and this one being red, kind of religious. Do I have to be worried about a red tiefling? Like, does any of my Waterdeep or background teachings teach me that tieflings are something to worry about religiously? I do study Infernal.
Yeah, so I would give you player agency on that as to what do you think your teachings would have told you.
So as everyone kind of just shrugs and shakes their heads, I'll swear in Infernal, just because that's my native language.
And you're swearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, a cursive swear is like, of course not. They've never heard of this amazing, like, me, this amazing bard. What a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, no, anyone with horns and with the red skin within Infernal, that's kind of within some of the books I've read, so that's kind of cool to witness.
Okay, so you're very much Dijkstra, you're kind of fascinated. Like, this is, something that you might have seen or heard about in one of your books, and for you, it feels like adventure.
Definitely.
So yeah. Anyway, I'm Gazel, Hammermaker. You can just call me Gaz. I'm a teamster. I have no fucking idea what's going on. I was supposed to be meeting up with my caravan. Yeah. Starting to think maybe it wasn't Pete that untied me from the tree. A grouchy old prick, but maybe it wasn't him.
Just
And Uther Lightbringer. Sorry. Uther Bloodhoof. Of the Knights, or the Knights Myth Draenor. Am I saying that right?
You are.
And you'll see his chest kind of get wide as he says Knights Myth Draenor, and then kind of his head will cock, and then his shoulders will sag again.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything else at this point? Time of day wise, still middle of the night. You guys get a little, chill amongst you in the fact that you've been out now standing in the cold mist for some time.
Would
What
I
do you got?
recognize the order that Mark is from, or Uther's from?
You could try a history check.
I would also like to try one just for reasons.
Okay. No, neither of you recalls any stories or lore on the myth Draenor.
So, well, we're talking. Gazel's gonna put his sword away. He's gonna pull a bow out.
Okay. It's about that point that your 11 minutes, a lot of discussion going on, is up, and you can describe what you want to around your ritual, Dijkstra.
okay. So conjured within the sensors kind of holes, smoke would kind of form into, and I was hearing a lot of the ravens around me, and thinking of what I would normally turn this familiar that I'm have learned just in the last few weeks. I've used a couple forms testing it out, but this one I'm going to turn into a raven at this manner. But I do switch it up. But this one I'll call Poe, and form a familiar raven to have at my shoulder. So yeah, a raven gets formed, and that was to give us a bird's eye view, just in case we're going through. I need to get some view above the canopy with this thing soon.
Okay. I'm a traditional color, black raven, or what do you...
Yeah, black sheen raven. I know the ravens were cawing around us, looking at us, so I'm kind of trying to make it be able to sneak in with that, possibly.
Okay. You've created a raven named Poe.
Yeah, this one's named Poe.
Excellent.
That's a new trick. That's quite good. I see you did not stop your studies.
Since you've been gone, I have not stopped, but you left, and it was quite curious the way you left. I was waiting for you to return, but you did not.
That sometimes life gets in the way, yeah?
Well, we'll talk about it at a different time, but right now, no, this is something I do from time to time.
So you guys have spent some time here talking, performing rituals. Any intention of taking a rest? Anything else you guys want to do at this point?
So, You guys want to like start a fire for the night, or walk away from here? Maybe get away from all the blood smell.
I think that would be wise.
We should continue following the road, see where it leads us.
But which direction?
Well, we came from that direction, we were heading in this direction, so let's continue in this direction.
Is there any value in these carcasses to any of you? The skulls, the paws, the blood. Any of you? Is there any value?
No.
I haven't a knife to carve up anything anyway.
I got a dagger, but people seem to think maybe bringing wolves into town wasn't a good idea. I don't really understand it.
Is it worth taking a look at these unique, independent wolves? These strong, independent wolves?
They could just be the native to the area, the type, but yes, they did not act in packs, but if there's no value, might as well proceed if no one needs anything from their body. We could just bless the Mistra for her guidance, and we can continue on if the red-skinned one. Hi there, my name's Dijkstra, and you kind of see him smile.
I will do a curtsy. Autumn.
It's pleasure. Thank you very much. So he's kind of fascinated with the tiefling. He's never seen a tiefling before.
Okay. So as you guys continue to look around, and you do note that one direction on the road is very thick fog. The other direction, more are open. The sides of the road really remain very tight trees as you guys are looking forward. And again, lots of fog. Patches of fog above you float past. But in between the fog, again, you still see some stars. Interestingly, ravens cawing in the distance.
And is the direction we've chosen the one with less fog?
You have a choice. You can head into the fog, or you can head down the open road that is more clear.
The way we came into the portal is the way that Autumn is suggesting we head. Is that the same way as
yeah,
without
so as you guys stepped out of the portal, the direction you're looking, straight down the road, is the more open area.
Okay.
So just meta-wise, is anybody like stumbling around in the dark, or can everybody see?
I have dark vision. I think I'm the only one.
I'm a dwarf.
Oh, you have dark vision too. Yeah.
Dwarves are just, that's what they do. I normally, to navigate that, have dancing lights. That's a kind of four spots of electricity static that kind of generate from my ring that kind of swirl in the direction I choose.
I guess it's a matter if we want to attract attention to ourselves, or if we want to move in a more less conspicuous manner as we travel down the street. Yeah.
Does anyone have any torches?
I have a lantern, the hood on it, that I could direct the light. But given that we were just transported to some place that is not our home and were attacked by wolves, I'm not quite sure if being more discreet would be more prudent at this point.
Okay.
Well, if we want to make noise, I can play us a song as we travel.
And I want to clarify one thing. Dijkstra, did you say you cast dancing lights, or is it that's what you normally do when you need light? I just want to be clear.
So I would cast it, and then pull it just at the side with my satchel, pull out my scroll case, and have these four motes go within that ivory casing, and then cap it. But then I'd uncap it and then cap it So it would flash out kind of like a flashlight when I need it, and then I'm just gonna hold it capped.
What do the dancing lights normally look like?
Just little tiny smotes of kind of floating electricity, lightning, little dots.
So you go through the motions of casting what for you is a spell you've cast many times before.
Oh fuck!
As you cast it, rather than being little smotes of light, you see 3 tiny little red skulls. They're giving off light, much like your normal spell would, but these little skulls are now kind of sort of circling around, much like the lights normally would. You've just never seen. For you, that's something you've never seen before.
I'm going to kind of point towards that to Casper. Just, I don't know what that did wrong with this one. And then kind of snap it out. So they would go up.
Okay.
Would the red skulls mean anything to any of us?
No, and outside of Dijkstra's sort of pointing at it and taking notice of it, nothing to anyone else.
Curious. Can I do an Arcana check to see if I failed on something there?
100%.
Dirty 20.
Excellent. So with that, you're quite curious, seeing that something has altered a spell that you know you cast correctly. And it dawns on you for a moment that in the land you're in, wherever that might be, magic doesn't work the same as it might elsewhere.
Just because I'm so curious, and maybe experimental as a youth, I'm gonna try the same motion, and from the ring, try and cast those 4 same smotes of electricity that normally emanate from it. Casting dancing lights as a cantrip one more time.
Yeah, and just like you did previously, what normally would be those little emotes of light, little flaming skulls. They're bright.
This time I'm gonna get them to come close to me, and then just get a solid image of what they look like in my mind, and then, oof, that's obtuse, and shoo them away one more time.
So yeah, again, seeing it again, you get the sense that magic is working. It's just not working in the same way that it's done for you repeatedly many, many times previous.
Okay, and it was 3 red skulls.
Whatever your normal number is, if it's 3 or 4.
4.
Whatever, yeah.
4 red skulls, and then the light that was produced from it, was it kind of the same as my lightning normally?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright. Just thinking that's a little bit weird, I'm not going to run that until I need it.
Okay.
Alright, thank you.
So what's the group deciding to do? Just so I have a sense.
I think moving on down the road with limited light sources, and carefully so. At least that's Uther's intention.
Okay. So you guys walk slowly down the road. Again, fog, cold, mist, very much around you. As you walk forward, you get a sense the fog behind you just continues to kind of creep as you walk. Tight trees, both sides of the road. Probably walk for a few hours. And then I'll show you the image of what you see ahead. In the distance, you see a house take shape. First, more just kind of like a shape, and then as you guys get closer and closer, you start to see detail. Down at the base of the stairs of the house, you see two children appear to be tugging on something in between them. The house is as you see it in the image. What would you guys like to do?
Anyone else terrified of little children in the middle of the night playing with a doll?
I know no media content that would tell me otherwise.
Is there anyone who is perhaps somewhat better with people that should go? I mean, not to offend any present company, but I think someone who has a sort of infernal legacy or perhaps horns growing out of their head in one hand should perhaps not be the ones to approach children in the night, as that is what the stuff of nightmares.
Absolutely, I could definitely move forward.
Yeah, it probably shouldn't be me. Dad used to make me go hide in the coal room and count coal whenever people came over to buy stuff.
I have horns in my head. Surely you must mean me.
I will flash a pointed-toothed smile. Oh, you want me to go talk to them? By all means, I'll do just that.
I'll come with you. Less facetiously so.
Okay. So, as you guys continue down the road towards the house, as you get closer, sort of the fog breaks, revealing more detail on the house itself. You do notice that there is light being emitted from 3 levels on the house, as you see in the picture. And again, you still see the kids sort of playing down at the bottom of the steps, tugging on something in between them, tossing it back and forth.
It was a good call sending those two. Find out right away if this is one of them racist towns.
It's a controlled experiment, at least.
As we approach, I'll call out to the children. Good children, what place is this? Where have we stumbled upon?
Well, why? Well, this is our home. And you'll see there's a taller girl and a much shorter and younger appearance boy. And I'm just going to bring up an image for you.
I'm going to flick Poe off my shoulder and get him to do kind of a perimeter swoops of the house, going window up, spiraling, and just flickering off and seeing what he can see in due time.
Okay. You guys can see that image okay?
Yep.
Yep.
And top of the page on the right side, do you see a picture of 2 children?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. Just want to make sure it's showing because I've got them all layered here. So you see those 2 children. Yeah, so the older the girl sort of pipes up. Well, this is our house. Have you come to play with us?
Maybe in a moment, but is there a town or village nearby? I, at least, was traveling to Waterdeep and seemed to have lost my way.
What? I think there is. And then you see the little boy sort of tug on the girl, and she kind of leans down, hears something. No, they're not strangers. We just met them. And she's talking to him and sort of looking at you guys, but talking to him. No, maybe they'll play with us.
Why? Go ahead, Mark.
If we play a game with you, will you tell us the name of the town that is close by?
My little brother. He thinks we should have you ask for permission to play with us, that you're strangers. You best come talk to my mother. And with that, the kids turn quickly and run up the set of stairs. It's interesting, the shorter little boy kind of like has to almost like hoist himself up on each stair because he's not really tall enough to do it swiftly. But the two of them kind of skirt up the stairs, looking back. Well, come on. And they run into the house. The door's ajar. To your raven, as it flies around, you note through the windows again that there is light, and in a number of rooms, you see different pieces of furniture, things you would commonly see in a house.
No movement.
No movement.
Anything in particular? Never mind. We're not doing furniture.
Is there a piano?
Yeah.
Any mastercraft stuff in there?
Yeah, just stop it there.
I'm gonna turn back to the rest of the group. And say, there's an offering to show us to their mother. Do the rest of you want to come?
I'd motion with my hoof.
Well, I am inherently distrustful of the situation. I think it is much better if we stick together than split up, and this will at least get us out of the cold and away from other wolves for the time being, till perhaps maybe morning.
It could be worth a try.
See?
Go.
Winter is already catching cold.
I'll go with whatever the group's deciding. I don't really want to stay out here by myself with the wolves.
Do we hear that crying, or is that just me?
Seems to be.
I'm not hearing any crying. Are you hearing crying?
I'm not hearing any crying.
There's some sobbing.
Oh, I heard.
It's very low.
I heard crying. I was wondering if my character heard the crying.
No, there's no crying.
But there's crying, right?
I hear the crying, and I'm trying to see is it my kids or not.
No, I heard it.
No, I have no kids and I hear crying.
But it's
Okay,
not.
I was saying
it's not
in game you're not hearing any crying.
Okay.
You might be hearing crying. It's possible Sirenscape's got some crying in the
Oh
background.
yeah, that was just freaky as.
But it wasn't intentional crying.
It was not
like, is that-
intentional. No.
Okay, because it was like it sounded like a little kid crying. It's
Just
just
like, no, we're not. We're gonna sleep outside.
we good.
No, there's no crying.
Just as a meta note as well, I have proficiency in the 3 charisma interaction things as well.
The two
But
least charismatic looking characters.
Yes, but I suspect that you probably have higher scores than that, so I'm merely there to sort of support.
Help is good.
I'm only +6 in them.
+4.
Okay.
The question in front of us is if we follow the kids and go in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Or anything else you want to do here. You're standing out the front of the house. Kids have rustled up the stairs and have basically invited you in, and the door is ajar.
Having the raven come to the tallest part of that house and then perch itself at the very top and touching it. Can I get an arcana just sense of the house, see if there was anything special through the eyes of the raven?
Sure. Get a roll on Arcana.
Oh, really? Okay. I like those rolls. It sucks. 12.
No, to you, this looks like a nice, sort of well-maintained home.
Okay. So nothing that would be like, oh, okay, illusion or nothing like that. Sounds good. If the group's willing, Dijkstra is not letting anyone know of any arcade traps or anything.
Did we ever see what they were playing with?
Did they had like a bear, like a stuffed bear? They were kind of tossing between the two of them and tugging back and forth.
So it wasn't like somebody's liver or something. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Heading in, staying out. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, let's head. I'm for heading in.
No objections here.
Okay, and are you leaving your Raven inside or outside?
At the top. But if we do decide as a group to come in, he would come back to the shoulder perch.
Okay.
On the jacket, it's normally built like this for the owl or whatever flying creature conjure.
So you, yep. What?
I was gonna say before I would take up the rear and just do one sort of like sweep of the area of which we came and do a perception check to see if I could hear or see anything in the environment that might be following or tracking us. So
Yeah, you can roll a perception.
that's Fion Sansi.
No, outside of some ravens cawing up in some of the trees, you don't hear or see anything other than a lot of fog.
All right, I'll go in.
Okay, so as the group enters, ignoring a shiver, you escape the clinging mists and cross the stone portico into the house. A chill hangs in the air. Oaken doors stand before you, silent and brooding. You find yourself in an immaculate foyer, decorated with portraits and heraldries. A family of stone-faced aristocrats watch you from one of the portraits on the wall. The plaque on the frame reads, "The Dursts," in dull gold lettering. A number of other portraits hang on the wall in various conditions. On the southern wall, within this foyer, you see a shield on the wall. And then again, in front of you, these mahogany frame doors. And I'm going to bring up another image.
So we're in the second room there.
You bet. Get yourself in there. We'll be like, so you were in this foyer. The pictures are on the southern wall. That shield is on the northern wall, and there's a set of wooden doors in front of you.
I'd like to take a look at the shield, if it has anything else specific about it, other than it's just being a shield.
Yeah, you can roll investigation if you like.
Yeah, I would like to see if I recognize maybe the heraldry on the shield.
Oh no.
Is that a 0? All right. You think that is the coolest shield you've ever seen. But it's you, Autumn, that taking a closer look, you notice that the shield is emblazoned with a coat of arms, a golden windmill on a red field.
Okay. Would that be something that I would have any familiarity with?
You can roll a history.
Oh, 11.
You have no knowledge of ever seeing a windmill like this one before. Nor you, Dijkstra.
As we walk in the room, do the eyes and the portraits follow us?
So, as you look at the portraits, you get another image. These are the pictures that sort of hang in a row, 5 deep.
I think they're not visible. No?
No.
Oh, sorry.
All good.
And Jace, did you just cast? Oh, you can't cast invisibility on yourself.
That's just me. I'm talking about. There's I have no token.
Okay.
Joking metaphor.
So the one that says the Dursts is the one that has the family portrait where the woman is wearing that one. Yep, the red dress. Then you see a picture that distinctly looks like the 2 children you just met. Then there are a few other pictures scattered along that wall.
Is the picture of the children, is this one, do we think they are tiefling as well?
Nothing visible would give you that impression. I won't make you roll for that. I mean, they don't look tiefling, no.
So that's just a weird fashion of horns behind them.
Yeah, it's more of a
collar.
like a collar, a broadened collar.
Okay.
Is there skin blue in that portrait as well? Like, is there like a, or is it exact same, just different?
No, it looks sort of like a duskier gray color, but it's hard to tell. The picture itself, how aged it is. That's how it's showing up.
And then is this windmill similar to the one that was on the shield?
If you take a look at both, yeah, it's very similar.
Take a note of the crows and just say, this place seems to be ridden with crows. This family's windmill seems to have been plagued by crows as well.
Gazel's going to kind of quickly look over the pictures and see if any of them look like they're, particularly expensive, or maybe like a silver frame or
A shield.
anything that looks like it might be a little bit valuable.
So the first picture, the one that says the Durst, the one that has the family, that one is in a much more ornate, sort of gold emblazoned sort of framing. The other's more plain wood frames around each of those. But that first one, yeah, it kind of catches your eye. It's quite a nice family portrait.
Is there any arcane preservations or illusions on any of the that I would recognize on any of the portraits or pictures?
You're talking like runes or something, or what specifically are you looking for?
So some magics are done with like within the frame or the backing, or some, but
No, nothing to the naked eye. No, they look like regular frames.
So yeah, it's just well preserved in this house.
You bet.
How, do the pictures look like they're very aged? Like they're very old pictures?
Yeah, definitely. That third one comes strikingly. It looks like it's quite old, whereas some of the other ones look, newer. Much like you see them in the images. Definitely, some are newer and less damaged. I guess even just the nature and age of the picture itself. In that third case, you can tell it looks like it's been there for a while.
Okay. And the children in the picture, do they bear resemblance to the children that were playing outside?
Very much so.
Do their fashions or clothes suit the time? We were kind of a fashion buff myself. Would I know these fashions to be something current? Or
I would take like a
something in the past? Like
Yeah, like a history check, I was thinking.
Are they dressed like they're in the 50s? Kind of a history? Okay. Oh, so close to a 20. 7.
Yeah, with that roll, all I'm going to say is this does not look like fashion in any area you've been to. Like, this would not be something you would see children in Waterdeep wearing.
Okay.
It's more ornate. Even the chain on the girl, different than what you might see elsewhere.
Is the red and gold that the patriarch of the household, it's similar to the red and gold colors that we saw the gentleman who came through the portal wearing?
No, hers is more a red, whereas his was like a burgundy.
Okay.
Like a darker kind of purpley red.
Okay. And then other question is, where are the children now?
They're nowhere to be seen. Appears to be deeper in the home.
So they went into the house before us and then disappeared.
Correct. So as you guys stand in that foyer, looking at the photos, looking at each other, at least the bone chill of the cold is now off of you. You stand in that very regal foyer, looking at these photos, checking out that shield. You turn and look to the two mahogany doors, quite majestic looking in front of you. And that's where we'll end our session for tonight and pick up next time.
Awesome. We have to wait for our host to invite us in anyways, right? So can't just
That's
go
only if...
barge
Wait a
in.
minute.
We're not vampires.
Mahogany.
There's many leather-bound books next room. Oh man, cool. Thanks, Trevor, so much. That was
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great.
That's an okay start.
Oh,
That was a
perfect.
fantastic start.
Awesome. Hopefully whet your appetite or a bit of an appetizer, I guess, to get you interested.
Lots of notes.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of that here. That's good though. And that's great. We didn't get too deep into this exploration, so that way Nathan can pick up with us next time and just starting into the house. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate everybody coming, and if there's anything downtime anybody wants to talk about or whatever, like, don't hesitate to reach out in the chat. But outside of that, yeah, we'll wrap it up there.
Cool.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a good night,
night.
everybody.
See
Have a good
you
night.
tomorrow. Oh, double D&D week.
Triple for
Awesome.
some of us. Yes.
Oh, is this every 2 weeks or it's every week, right?
every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Gotcha. Okay.
Wednesday's still every week. Yes. But we'll wave by stream. Thank you, Sirenscape. By stream. And yeah, thanks, team. That was an amazing inaugural.